tell us about your events, right? If you've got an event coming up and you want us to give it a bit of promotion on air, online, on the app, and on our socials, you can do that for £15, flat fee, £15, 4 weeks before your event. We'll get a radio ad for you created, but we'll need a voice note from you and ideally an instrumental track. That will go on our app on our website as well.
But guess what?
What?
It's free for patrons.
It is free for patrons. So go and sign up there as well. But also go on our app. Go and download that. Future Hits Radio app on Google Play Store and the App Store. Go and download it. See some more events.
Also, thanks for listening and thanks for watching.
Oh yeah, cheers.
Yeah. Oh yeah, if I'm not allowed to swear, you just tell me and I won't swear.
So if we can try not to.
It will save me a lot of editing.
I will try.
That'll be great.
I will try and rein it in.
Janky's not a swear word, no.
No, janky's not a swear word.
Okay, so...
well, I hope it's not. I didn't even know it was a Scottish word, so... There you go, no.
I've never heard the term janky.
There you go.
Ever. I didn't know what it meant.
Yeah.
But now I know slightly broken.
Yeah, just like broken, like not right, you know.
To be honest, that's us.
Yeah. There you go. That's life.
I would say speak for yourself, but...
Welcome to the Soundcheck podcast. We are joined by April J.
Woo-hoo.
Welcome
Thank
to
you.
the studio. Welcome to Southend. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
Good, thank you. First time in Southend.
Is it?
Yeah. When you first like approached me to do this, I had no idea where it was, and then when you sent me it, I was like, "Where is this?" Like, and I was like, "Oh, it'll be like Essex somewhere." And when I think Essex, I think, "Oh, like an hour out of London or something." My English geography is terrible. Somebody says like Manchester, I'm like, "Okay, yeah, that's somewhere like up there," but like I just like never really know.
I mean, we are like, it depends.
It's
London.
like an hour or so to get to Stratford.
I was going to say London's quite big.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not near Stratford. Southwest.
Where, okay, Southwest London. You're looking at 2-3 hours.
Yeah,
we're not going to talk about it.
We're not talking about Ali.
We're not going to talk about this terrible drive.
He's saying 3 hours. It's 3 hours.
It was like 3 hours.
I've got to go Bristol tomorrow. That's going to be 3 hours.
Oh, you love
Yeah,
it.
see when people say Bristol, I'm like, no idea where that is.
We should play a game of guess the... No, we'll
Should we do that for Scotland? Should we test your knowledge for Scotland?
Go on,
I feel like this goes both ways.
Give me something in Scotland.
No, I'm joking. No, I don't. Yeah, no. Let's just not do that because I feel like you're probably going to get it, and I'm just going to be like, oh no.
It's basically football. That I think that's the main thing for me is that, and that's why I'm good. You know when you watch like 1% Club, have you watched that?
Yeah.
And like when they come up with like flags and stuff, I'm like,
world geography is like okay, but like I don't know, just England. Local. I'm just like London. That's where I've lived. That's where I've been, and I've gigged in random cities, but never really like ventured out for any other purpose.
Well, now you know that Southend's 3 hours away. Manchester's probably 3 hours away. Bristol.
Yeah. Everything is like 3 hours away apparently.
3 hours away from London. Like let's just go with that. My whole geography, world or otherwise, is janky.
Oh, janky. There you go, janky.
That's it. That's all I've got for tonight.
Yeah.
Thanks, Abby. See you next time.
You learn something new every day. There's a new word for your vocabulary.
And you've learnt where Southend is.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. It's a good start. How long have you been in London then?
I don't know, like 5 or so years, something like that. Yeah, just moved after I dropped out of uni and then moved down to London. Just decided.
Where were you at uni?
Went to Edinburgh Napier,
okay.
So one of the Edinburgh unis.
Yep.
That's not Edinburgh Uni.
Fair enough.
It's like Oxford Brookes, isn't it? There's Oxford Uni and then Oxford Brookes, and people are like, oh yeah, I go to Oxford Brookes.
Yeah. See, if I was doing anything other than music, I would be like, oh yeah, I went to Edinburgh, but like, it's music. Like, who cares? Like, at the end of the day, like, it's not like I did a law degree or something, you know. What
was it that you were doing? Was it music?
I did music, for a couple of years, and then no.
What was it? Was it all theory? Was it theory stuff and you didn't gel with it, and then you just felt like I can probably just do this on my own without going to uni?
It was. So I grew up for a good chunk of my childhood in Belgium, which is a really academic place, and everything is so hard and so academic. No extracurriculars, nothing like that. It's like, honestly, it's just a terrible, terrible schooling system. But so when I went to uni, I was like, oh, I'm going to music uni. This is going to be like I've seen on TV, like, you know, these like,
High School Musical.
Yeah, like these performance schools. This is going to be like amazing. And it wasn't. It was just full of essays and just, you know, theory, which I was not good at all.
Well, you'd think you might be used to that if you were in a strict academic kind of...
Yeah, but I think I just didn't want to do that again.
Right,
yeah. Also, essay writing wasn't a big thing in my high school. I know, like, here in the UK it is, but
love it.
it just like was never a thing.
No,
So
we don't.
my first essay that I wrote for uni, I plagiarized all of it without even knowing I plagiarized all of it because I had no idea how to write one. So yeah, I was like,
how do you
enough.
plagiarize without knowing you plagiarized?
I know, it's something with the citations and I was sorry, I just
That's
swore.
all right.
There, you told me not to swear and I just did it. Apologies.
We didn't tell you
Kieran.
that. We asked you. Try not
Apologies.
to.
Yeah, I should never do children's anything. Like go on stage with like never. Just no. There's a reason my fan base is not children. But yeah, I can't even remember what we were saying now.
Uni.
Yeah.
Theory.
Theory.
No, I'm not used to it.
I mean,
Just,
do you think it would have been different if it was like a performance industry-based uni?
Maybe, yeah. If it was like
BIM.
if it was like a performing arts school, like my cousin went to one for like musical theatre and she was in like 10 hours a day and it was
That
like,
is like High School Musical.
yeah, and if it was like that, maybe, but I mean at the end of the day I think sometimes it's just better just to move and try and do the thing early as possible, you know.
Well, I did.
And you haven't done badly.
No, I haven't. So yeah,
I think
it's worked
it's
so
definitely the way to do it. I think if it depends on what you're doing. But I spoke to King Koy yesterday as part of my radio show, and he went to a uni that specialised in music production in Norway.
Oh,
Cool.
I was like, that's pretty cool.
the
I've not heard of that
Scandinavians,
before.
they know how to produce. They absolutely do.
I think he's from Northampton, but yeah.
Yeah, but the going there for production and stuff like that, absolutely. They know how to, especially pop stuff. They churn them out there.
Yeah. No, it was quite interesting because I've only when we've spoken to people before, it's like BIM always comes up, doesn't it, and places like that. So, but I didn't go uni. Not I do a lot in music apart from talk about it on here, but
Yeah.
like I didn't go to uni because I didn't know what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
We're going to need to play podcast bingo. April's already said, it's my first time in Southend. And Matt's already said, I'm not a musician. I just talk about
I didn't say I'm not a musician. I said I didn't go uni.
Okay, well, you say that a lot as well. That would definitely be on a bingo card, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Kieran, thank you.
It did make me laugh the other day because when I posted about my unsigned show the other week and I
You
was
were playing
playing
the
those
drums.
I was playing those drums and Isaac, bless him, right? So my little boy is 8 years old
Yeah.
and I was playing the set of drums that no one can see on camera that I'm pointing to, and I was sitting there.
There's drums over there.
I said Isaac, right, you've got to go outside the room and then when you hear me hit the snare, then you can come in. And then I want to do an intro to my show. And he was like, okay. So he, like, bless him, 8 years old, walking in for his nearly 40-year-old dad playing the drums. Like, so, oh, bless you.
Adorable.
And then Kieran goes, I'm not a musician. I was like, yeah, cheers, mate.
I was like, it looks pretty musician-y to me.
Yeah, that was like the second or third take, though. So it took a while.
That's fine.
It took a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, where was I going with that?
You didn't go uni.
Oh, no, I didn't go uni. But then I think it's one of those things that if you know what... Because when I got into uni to do media production or something at Greenwich, and I was like, and when I did that, I was a bit of a late start, so that was when I was 20, and I was like, well, I could either go to uni at 20 or I could just go and get into the media and start as a runner and work my way up. And I did that for a few years until we had kids and that, and I was like, okay, I need to go and get a real job. But that's how I think the best way to do it is get in on the ground floor and work your way through through the industry.
I feel like creative industries and stuff is just, it's all networking, isn't it? I hate that word, but it's just all like, you know, just making connections and working with other people, and you don't really need a degree to do music. Like,
I did go to uni, did a full music degree.
yeah.
And a master's in music as well. I was a late start as well. I went at 20.
Oh, did you?
But yeah, learnt far more in the last 2 years just doing the radio
Absolutely.
than I did at uni. So yeah, thanks. But I know how to notate a score. So
yeah, maybe it'll be handy at some point.
Never used it. No, yeah.
Never used it. No, I think it's if you go to uni and you enjoy, because it's part of the experience of
fun.
it, wasn't it? That's my point.
Yeah.
Is that
I loved it. I'm a nerd.
I didn't go uni, but I went to my friends that did. So I'd go and see
Yeah.
my mates at the weekend and have that part of it.
Oh yeah, that's a socialising. That doesn't count.
That's what I thought you meant when you
That's
said
a
it was
large
fun.
part of uni.
That's a
Yeah.
large part of uni. I just said I am a nerd, so
Yeah.
I actually enjoyed the essays.
To be fair, whenever we
Different people.
need to
different
do
people.
anything here, when it's like, I don't know, applications of some sort, Abby proper gets into it, don't you? Get your head
yeah.
right
I
into
love it. I'm made for this. I love it when we got recommended a grant, a music grant organisation, and Kieran said, I'll send it to Matt and he can look through it. I was like, don't bother, because it's going to come back to me anyway. So
I'll just do it first.
yeah.
Well, yeah.
Secretly, because I want to.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't make it out like it's my issue.
Yeah.
You like that bit.
I do. It's true.
Yep.
But
Can't
yeah,
all be the same. Can't all be the same.
No, exactly. So you come down to London 5 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
and then how did you start getting your foot into the door into the industry?
Oh God. I didn't really. Honestly, I didn't. Yeah, released music and like just threw things at the wall. Didn't really know what I was doing. I was making very, very, very different music than I'm making right now. Yeah, I didn't really know what I was doing. Like, you know. But also was working at what I like to call a muggle job on the side. Like,
Right.
you know, which, I mean, obviously I think it's amazing that, you know, it's an amazing thing to do, like having a job and then doing this on the side, but it's very difficult.
Mm-hmm.
And I've come much further since not having a muggle job than I ever did before.
I love that. That's such
Yeah,
a good
that is
term,
good.
isn't it? That's brilliant. I'm not. Yeah,
she's
that's
playing
great.
to her audience. She knows what
I
she's
love it.
But yeah, I don't really think I knew what I was doing, but I also think everything happens for a reason, and I probably made the exact right steps that,
At the right time.
at the right time. So yeah, didn't really know very much, but yeah, made a random EP and randomly put it on Spotify and thought, this is it. I'm going to get signed. Like this,
Yeah.
I've made it. Yeah, this is it. And then obviously that doesn't happen. So,
No.
but yeah, I think I've learned a lot like over the last few years as I've progressed. But yeah.
I don't really know how we properly met, but I do remember us emailing about, and you sent me your track Not Like the Movies.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Ages ago.
That was ages ago. I have a fond memory of that song though. Like,
It's a good song. Well, I liked it.
Yeah.
I played it on my show.
there you
There
go.
you go.
It would have been you probably when you originally was doing artist pick, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but I wouldn't
I
know
think
where
so.
I found.
I think I contacted you. I think I'm trying to remember.
She's going to use that as a flex now.
I am.
No, not you.
People contacted
Oh,
me.
really? Oh, no, I'm going to use it as a flex too.
Before Morally Grey.
Yeah, so much longer before Marley Gray. I think it was my friend Terry Ann who sent me your thing.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, I do a lot of like sharing of information with other like independent artists.
Yeah.
Being like, oh, have you like sent your stuff to this person? Have you sent your stuff to this person? So that was one of the. I think
that
that's
does
what
ring a
it
bell.
was. So shout out to Terry Ann.
Yeah, it's lovely, Terry Ann.
Absolutely love her.
Yeah.
So
I'm sure you're lovely. I have no idea who you are.
She's been on our rotation before. So
Oh,
you
of
know our
course.
music.
Oh, okay.
sweetheart.
Yeah, she's lovely.
It's nice when you're doing that with sharing information with different artists because that's what
That's what the point in all
the
of
whole
this is.
point of it is trying to
Absolutely.
build that network for people. And I think we've seen the benefit of that with certain artists working with each other that have met
Yeah.
through this as well.
Yeah. Also, it's just things like support slots and like just things like that. It's like, oh, have you like heard this person's music? They'd be great for support for you. Or it's just you can't do it all alone, can you?
No.
So,
No, definitely not. I think because we've got our little WhatsApp group that we've got going that sort of peaks and troughs on there. Some people get involved with it and then it sort of drop off. But when someone needs something, everyone's quite supportive.
For artists,
Yeah.
yeah.
For
I love
artists,
that.
yeah.
Artists, not mine.
But I wonder if there's a better way of doing it though, because obviously for us, like that
Let
comes
us
as
know.
well, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean, no one really uses Facebook that much anymore, I suppose. But
God no.
Apart from my aunties, I feel like.
do you know what though? Like we've from a perspective of reach, we've got quite a good reach on there.
Have we?
Not as good as Instagram. Instagram.
You just saying that now because you put it in a WhatsApp group today and
Yeah, I
said,
did.
everyone, can you invite your friends on Facebook?
Everyone's
Like, Facebook is amazing.
do you know why though? Do you know why? Do you know why I did that? It's because
Blood,
because-
sweat and booze.
no, it wasn't because of them, but because I was looking at the potential of doing like some live stream stuff when we do a radio show, like a live show. I was thinking, well, obviously YouTube is the best place to probably do that
Yeah.
rather than Twitch, but Facebook, we've got more followers than we have on YouTube. So I was trying to
Trying to get those followers
Yeah.
cross-platform.
get them. Look,
One of the hardest things you could do.
you're on here, but get over there.
Easy, right?
Yeah. You think it would be easy, but it never is.
No, it never is. Like our reach on Instagram's like grown and grown and grown, and we've like we're doing all right. And I'd love if that could just translate to YouTube and Spotify and everything else. Then you'd be laughing.
Yeah.
How did you find it? Because obviously after Morally Grey, which we'll go into more detail about, but absolutely skyrocketed on Spotify. Did you find that translate into your social media pages?
It did. I mean, I'm I'm
Because
very
TikTok is-
lucky. Yeah, TikTok as well. I'm very lucky in the way that the song popped off on TikTok, and then it popped off on Instagram, and then it popped off on YouTube Shorts. I was very lucky that it popped off on all three, and I was also then very lucky that because it wasn't released when it popped off.
Oh wow.
So I was very lucky that the people patiently waited for like, I think it was 2 weeks at this point, because I was still doing everything by myself at this point. No manager, no anything, just me and Ali. We were the only people who were doing everything. So I was very lucky that they waited, and it just kind of organically went over to Spotify.
To be fair, absolute tune.
Oh, I love it. Thank you.
That bass on it, by the way.
Yeah.
Like,
That's that one over there.
I know it is. That's why I looked at him.
Yeah. Loves when he can sneak a bass track in it because he's a bass player by
Do you know
by
what this
trade.
needs?
this needs a bass fill.
But like when Kieran's obviously behind the camera as well. When Kieran done the edit for that
Yeah.
show that
That
we
was
did,
such a sick edit, by
like
the way.
that
I loved it.
that
was
worked
so
very
sick.
well together.
Could not get that song out of my head.
Yeah, the cuts and everything with the song. Oh,
Yeah.
sick! I loved it.
Kieran came in and was like, "This is my best one yet."
I have peaked now.
No, you're still peaking. You're still peaking.
Still going there.
Still going.
Absolutely.
But you are quite active on TikTok and social media anyway, aren't you?
Yes.
Is that planned? Is that a strategy? You just do what feels right.
There's your bingo word.
Strategy.
Fair.
I think it was one of those things that I fought social media for such a long time. And I was one of those artists that I say now that you really should get out of this mindset as quick as you can. But I was very much in that mindset of like, I'm an artist, like I don't want to post anything on social media, like I just want to make my art, and it's such a bad mindset to have.
You're gonna say it then, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's such a bad mindset to have. So yeah, I very quickly, and I say quickly, I didn't quickly, but like
Over time.
yeah, over time I got out of that mindset, and yeah, started posting. I think I started posting every single day on TikTok, especially.
Wow.
It must have been 2 years ago now. So for an entire year, I posted it every single day, minus your random, hey, I'm sick today or whatever. Now I post a little less. Because I actually think the algorithm likes when you post a little less, not every single day. But no, it wasn't like a strategy of like, I'm not strategically very thinking about it, but I am now a bit more than I used to, yeah, which brings its own little bit of pressure.
Could you post that regularly with your muggle job?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
No,
No.
exactly.
Although I will say, I think the longer you do social media and the more you don't complicate it, the easier it is. Like there's times where I'll do like a day where I like shoot a bunch of content, and I can do like 15 pieces of content in an hour. And because it's like sometimes it's simple stuff like just lip sync your song and come up with a really good hook, and it's like it's not that deep. Like it's just stuff like that pops off on TikTok all the time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think you get a lot better at it as you like go along. I look at 2 years ago at my content and I'm like, oh no, this is cringe.
It's hard though, isn't it?
dear.
Because if you like what you were saying about the mindset of being an artist, and you just want to be an artist, you don't want to have to be a social media manager and all that sort of stuff as
Yeah.
well. It can be very difficult to try and find original organic content to put onto TikTok and whatnot.
Yeah, absolutely.
Especially if you've got a muggle job.
Yeah, having a muggle job is hard. It's
Yeah.
it's I'm not gonna lie. It's it's a place that I'm very grateful that I've gotten past.
Yeah.
And yeah, I have a lot more time to do on it, like to work on my own stuff now. So
Do you treat your day, if you're doing this full time, are you setting yourself like a day, like on a day? What am I trying to say? Like on it, like a
Do you
normal.
plan your day out?
Yeah, are you
basically?
planning your day out as if you were doing a day job? Are you going right 9 till 5? This is what my plan is for this day and what I'm going to do.
no.
Okay.
She's a creative.
No.
I know,
This
but
is
I'm
coming
just
from a
trying to
man
think.
that works on spreadsheets.
No.
Sorry.
No, but I heard the Eminem literally does that. Like, I know I'm not comparing you to Eminem, but what I'm saying is
Love
that
Eminem. I was literally just talking about the other day. All I want to do is dress like Eminem from 8 Mile. That's all I want in life.
I mean, that's what I've
feel
gone
like we
for
kinda
today.
do.
yeah, I love it. That's all I want in life.
I thought I might take this off because I might get, but I was like, no, I'm going to keep it on.
Keep it.
Keep it on. And I got my work boots on for tomorrow as well.
There you go.
Charlotte said, are you a lumberjack? I was like, no, I'm not a lumberjack. But what my point is with him, he literally, I can't remember what artist it was who was going to work with him, but I heard this, this was definitely a TikTok story.
Oh, of course it was, yeah.
But he works 9 till 5 or whatever the hours are, but he literally does that. And if an artist like wants to go in at 7 o'clock, he's like, no, I've gone home. Like, you have to come back at 9 o'clock tomorrow.
Oh, I'm definitely not like that. As I said earlier, I have a manager who's in the States as well. So she's in New York.
Right.
I cannot clock off at 5 because she's like 5 hours behind.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't do that. Also, I don't really work very well in the morning, like at all.
Right.
So I really very much only like come alive at like maybe 12. I mean, I'll do all my other things like go to the gym and, you know, clean up and things like that. But like actual work, I can't really do very much till maybe like after lunch or. Yeah.
I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
If it gets to
Lots
3,
of guys are the opposite.
if it gets to 3 o'clock and someone's asked me to do something, you
You're
can
flagging.
do one. Yeah, mate, go. If someone puts a meeting in at 4, I'm like, come on, especially on a Friday. He's like,
How
what
dare
are you?
you?
doing?
Oh, that is rude. 4 o'clock on a Friday.
Oh,
is
it's
just
so rude.
Yeah,
So
I feel like
rude.
men are a lot like that. We were doing a mixed revision for a song yesterday, and it got to midnight, I think, and it was like this one last pass, and Ali was like, "I'm flagging. Like, I just want to go to bed," and I was like, "Yes, let's do it." So yeah, I think a lot of guys are early morning people.
I would rather get up, get stuff done, and then have the rest of the day to chill. Like if it's a Sunday, like Sunday stuff, I've got my young family and that.
Mm-hmm.
If Charlotte wants me to do stuff, let's get it out of the way in the morning, and then we can just have Sunday afternoon just to do nothing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's the
Yeah.
way I like to do it.
I'm not a
anyway.
regimented person though, so no. The answer to that question is no. I don't like plan. Like,
Right, okay.
okay, from like 2 till 4, I'm going to do this. Like, no, I don't really do that. It's just, you know, I have my to-do list of what I like need to do
Yeah.
and stuff like that, and I have like priority stuff if I need to like send emails or whatever. But no, I'm not a, you know, just if I have to film content that day, I'll film content at some point that day before
Yeah.
the light disappears in the UK. That's about it, really.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
How did you find working completely independently on your own and then having a manager?
I found it difficult at the start. I've not been with my manager very long. I love her to death already. But I found it very difficult at the start. I'm a really independent person, and as I said, I've been doing this mostly by myself with like a very small like team of like my best friend does my photography, my mum does my photography because they're both photographers. Like Ali does my production, who's my boyfriend, anybody that doesn't know.
And by the way, he's fine, for those of you concerned, after the release of Grovel.
Oh my god, yeah, that was very satire, by the way. That was really not a true story. That was just a funny little skit. The men got angry with that one. But yeah, so I had that very small team, but like at the end of the day, everything was like my decision, and like, you know, so it was very difficult at the start having like somebody
To
be
let
like,
go.
yeah, to let go of that tiny bit of control. I have problems there. I blame my mum for that, but yeah,
I'm the same.
yeah, but yeah, it was difficult at the start, but we've been working together for a few months now, and
Is this the
worked out
first
the kinks.
manager?
Yeah,
That's quite lucky then that you clicked.
Yeah, I'm very, very lucky. Yeah, I think obviously when More of the Grey came out, I was having a bunch of meetings, but I just clicked with her like the most. So that was it, really.
Was it after Morally Grey then that
Yeah.
you signed up with her? Because she's
You
got.
needed one after that.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, it's
Like-
very, very busy.
I'd look on because on your Instagram, obviously you link her, don't you? In
I
your
do.
bio.
Yeah.
So I had a little look. She's got a few artists, hasn't she? that she
Yeah,
manages.
she does.
Are they UK? Are they? She got some in the States as well. Is she?
She has some in the States. So she has one in Ireland as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but no, I don't think the two of the ones she has don't have music out yet, like original music.
Right.
But yeah, so I'm lucky though. She's been like honestly so on it and like there for me at all times a day. And she gets to answer all of the emails now, which I don't usually have to answer, which why probably sometimes it takes me a long time to email people that still email me, because I'm like, oh, I don't need to look at my emails anymore because my email is nowhere anymore. So
I was going to say, was it her emailing us earlier?
no, it was me. She has her own email, but that's the thing. I don't get like that many emails to my April J email anymore. So yeah, it sometimes takes me a little minute to email people back.
So
That's fair.
we've given up control. Like, what are the responsibilities that she had? Because with obviously people watching this are going to be artists that may not have managers yet and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So what are the? Yeah, don't have to go into loads of detail. But what are her roles and responsibilities that you guys have decided on? How, and was it her that proposed the way that you guys work, or is it a bit of negotiating?
I think it's like just like what if you're an artist, it's like just what you need help with most a lot of the time. A lot of it is like finding like sessions and other like songwriters to work with, and you know, setting up meetings with people. Also just like being there for everything. Like the emails they get, there's a lot of them eventually when you get like some kind of success. Just being there and helping with everything that I don't have to do anymore, which then gives me more time to just write, record, release, make all the content. Also coming up with content strategies and stuff like that, which is really, really helpful. But yeah, she's been a godsend, so yeah.
That's a good question.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's like I've done this before. I just like to learn about stuff because obviously, you know,
I think it's different for everyone though.
Yeah.
Like
So.
it really is. The manager role I think is very like, you know, not really all encompassing. It's just like, you know, it just depends what you need, I think. Yeah.
That's what I found difficult, because I tried to help manage a band for a little while last year, and it didn't quite work out because it just ended up being, I couldn't put my time into it because we had this and Future Hits and Unsigned and family and work and everything, and I didn't have enough time in the day to do it all.
I talk to her more than I think I talk to my family now, like honestly. So I think, yeah, you have to be there. Like it's like 24/7.
Well, that's the thing. Because if she must be doing that full. If she's got a few
you've got a
artists,
few
she
artists,
must
yeah.
be
Yeah.
just doing that.
Yeah.
Well, that's the key in it.
Gotta give something up.
Yeah.
No, it's hard to find. Again, it comes back to balance, isn't it? It's hard to find that balance. But
Bingo card again.
if you found that, leave me alone.
I love these little buzzwords.
God's sake.
It's both our bingo cards. It's the Soundcheck podcast bingo.
Yeah.
I don't want to sound
Bullying
samey
you.
though, but I just mean like it's interesting to
Consistency.
it's
Like,
interesting to me to have these conversations with like yourself, because we don't see, or I don't see that part of it. So I'm just trying to learn, because then it's like when artists come to us and go, oh, we're looking to do this or whatever, I can go, oh, well, we had this conversation with someone and they said about this. So I'm just learning.
I always think it's like also you can go really far without a manager. I think a lot of people thought I had a manager a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I think it's like finding that right one for you. It takes time. And like sometimes I think you can go quite far without having one. So
It depends what you need help with, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because if it's a case that if you're just starting out and you are quite happy doing getting your music produced, you're getting gigs yourself, like, do you know what I mean? Like we've got friends of ours that have been on the station and stuff. I think one of them's just signed up to a booking agent, but he's actually doing hundreds of gigs. So it's like
yeah, live agents and booking agents are key for gigs.
Well, that's the thing. But if you're getting them, I guess it's a case of if like a booking agent will get you to that next step on that gig ladder. Is that right?
Everything is about that next step. Sometimes I think when you do things for, like by yourself for a long time, you don't realize that sometimes that does hinder your success. So like if you do want to get to that next step, I think bringing other people on as much as you obviously can is the best thing for you sometimes.
Yeah.
So.
I think the first gig I came to actually see you at, the first time I met you, was Jodie Bryant.
Yeah, I did the Ned.
Yeah,
a Ned.
with Lex.
I did the Ned with her.
I did the Ned.
I did the Ned.
With Lex as well. Lex was on the line at the same night.
She was amazing. She was awesome.
Were you talking to booking agents and live agents for that?
I don't actually have a live agent right now.
Oh,
at
well,
this second. At this second right now. But yeah.
So one's coming then.
You know, this is the thing, is there's always talks and always meetings and stuff. I don't have a live agent right now.
Right.
But no, I didn't have a manager or anybody when I did that Ned gig. I think it was was it September? This was pre More of the Grey as well, so
yeah. And then I tried to book you for a gig like 2 months later, so we got in just in time.
Yeah. I loved that gig.
Oh,
that was in
thank you.
December,
You
right?
were so helpful on that night as well.
Oh,
You
that was
couldn't have done it
yeah.
without you,
Some
Ali.
people were not.
Yeah. I'm not going to name no names.
I was ill, so I was trying to be as helpful as I could, but I was also trying to like keep myself away from everyone.
Yeah.
Like self-isolation.
That was the thing. I was like,
Trying.
oh, this was my last gig. I think it was like in November when I did my own headline shows right after More the Go. I was like, oh, this is my last gig for the year. And then you guys got in touch with me and I was like, oh, oops,
No, it's not.
actually not. And then I did another gig after you guys as well. And I was like, oops, actually not. Just like, yeah. You get things so last minute sometimes, but yeah.
Oh, what a treat.
It's
Yeah.
great, honestly, yeah. Anything, yeah. I love it.
That was a very good night, and you were particularly impressive. I remember my dad saying actually that he was like, "She's
Your
good."
dad was so sweet.
Was it?
I remember your dad. Why
He
was so
like
sweet.
speak to everyone, like all of us.
He's a networker, isn't he? He loves it.
Love
the
it.
crowd.
Yeah,
Love it.
he's about it all. Should we have a quick break?
Yeah.
And then we
Yeah,
will
love
come back
it.
in part 2 and we'll discuss plans for this year, morally great, and we'll go back to the old Queen's Head as well.
Nice.
Join us in part 2. Here at Future Hits, we've got some fantastic partners and they support us, so we need you to support them.
We have sponsors like Flapjackery, who do gluten-free flapjacks, so I'm happy.
Doc's Beers, who do craft beers, so I'm happy.
And we also have sustainable clothing partners Pre-Worn.
We do. We also have Game Over for your gaming chairs and stuff like that. And Toffs, who do retro football shirts and rugby shirts as well. So if you want more information about any of our affiliates or partners, go to our website, futurehits.co.uk/partners. Oh, and we've also got Skull Shover and Sneak as well.
Okay, we'll hold
What
it
gig are
up.
you going to? How dare you be going to a gig without us? Say again.
A music one.
A music one.
Who's playing?
Oh, that's nice. it's not for me, so
Why not?
I love how ballsy that was though. I love it. Shoot your shot. Go for
Shoot
it.
your shot, Kieran.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Soundtrack Podcast.
I hope that was picked up. Oh, God. Just before we go into it, I recorded my last Unsigned show today.
Your last? Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah. It's because,
you only decided like 2 days ago.
yeah, you know me, Abs.
I was going to say that's short.
Basically,
It's
basically, with Unsigned, I've been doing it for 3 years, probably, maybe longer, 4 years. And it's how we met originally.
Mhm.
But it's got to a point now where I'm like, Future Hits is doing pretty well. And I just want to really put my energy into that. And with Unsigned, because it's a syndicated show, so it goes out on a few other stations. So the last show, I've actually recorded it today to go out on Friday.
Exciting.
the end of an era.
I know.
End of an era, but what the plan is that we're going to be doing a new show exclusively on Future Hits, which I'm hoping there will be a live show, stream it, get people involved. It will give us a little bit more freedom to do what we want to do, because when it's a syndicated show, you have to be up to a certain point within a certain rule set of what tracks you can play. But for my last show, I thought sod it. So I
all the metal.
seriously,
Everything I want to do.
seriously, one of them. Who was it? They supported. I'll figure it out. It will come to me in a minute. But they performed with Cardinals and Aurora Sun.
Okay.
We're getting the
Milton.
vibe. We're getting the vibe.
Yeah, so they performed with them a couple of weeks last week in Milton Keynes,
Okay.
and it's really screamy. And
Screamy.
it's really screamy. And I was like, do you know what? Sod it, I'm going out with a bang, mate. So I put that into the middle of my show and I warned them. I was like, right, you're going to get hit with a punch here, but it's a hell of a track. So,
Nice. I mean, what are they going to do? Fire you? Like,
no, exactly. And
last show. So
but the thing is, it's
taken
like,
off all the other stations, but
it would have got taken off anyway.
we won't fire you. You won't fire
There you
yourself.
I won't fire myself, no. But that's the thing. I just wanted to have, because me and Abby were chatting about it the other day, and I was like, I just want to play more like rock stuff,
what I
more
want.
metal stuff. Yeah. And I do play a lot of the stuff that, like, everything I play on my show generally is stuff I like. Like, it isn't, I'd never play a track that I'm not keen on, but it takes so much time to create that playlist and do all the track. I sort of just need to take the foot off the gas a little bit and I just want to develop this as much as we possibly can. So that's why Unsigned is taking all a indefinite break, let's call it.
Indefinite hiatus.
Yeah.
Indefinite hiatus like that. It kind of works for me because sometimes we'd fight over tracks that came in the uploader a little bit.
Shout out Head Ballet.
Shout out Head Ballet. It's April actually.
Yeah. There was one that came in the other day and you were like, oh, I wanted that. Oh, it was Head Ballet.
Yeah.
I was like, I messaged Kira, I'm having that.
And Hannah Maisie, you'd like dibs them both. We like colour code our uploader.
Yeah.
Like I call dibs on this one.
we literally do that. But
now I don't really play like rock or metal stuff anyway on
No.
Artist Pick. It's even mostly like alt pop or indie pop.
yeah.
So yeah.
Whereas I
Moving
played
off my
everything.
turf.
Yeah, no, you can have it.
Stay in your lane.
You can have it. But hopefully you'll see something soon on the socials we might call it the late show. That's what we're going with. The late
like
show.
that.
And then it means it's going to be after the watershed. We can let our hair down a little bit. And hopefully get a few people involved on the stream and get involved in the show as well. So that is the plan for the future. But thank you to everyone who has been a part of Unsigned because it means a lot. But it's time to go to the next chapter.
Exciting.
Feels very emotional.
I actually did feel a bit emotional doing the last few links.
Baby.
It has, but it's time to I actually messaged a couple of the other stations today and I was like, look, I just need to have a break from Unsigned. Like if you need me to cover other shows, I'll do it here and there, but I just need to park it and move on.
Sometimes
really.
you just need to move on.
Yeah, I think so. So that's that. So I just wanted to get that out there. So thank you very much. Because if you're watching this on Patreon on Friday, tonight's the last show, 7 p.m. on Future Hits. And if not, you can catch it on Mixcloud. Just go and search on Future Hits Mixcloud on demand on the app and all that good stuff. But that's enough about me. How about you?
How about me?
That's enough about you. How about me?
I feel so narcissistic. Me.
Well, we've invited you here and I've just spent the last 5 minutes talking about me. So that's
It was an
narcissistic.
emotional moment, but now we're done.
You take your moment.
Now we're done. Right, let's talk about the Old Queen's Head then, because that gig you put it on. You decided the lineup.
Yeah, the lineup had decided itself. Really, it changed several times.
Oh, did it?
It did. I'm pretty sure I asked you quite late.
Did you?
I
I can't remember.
Would have loved you to come,
Yeah.
but it was more rocky. Maybe it was heavier than it turned out, which I'm more than.
I think there
pleased
was one
about.
more artist after I got the lineup. I think there was there 5?
Yeah, I think. Oh, Emma.
We put Emma in.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think Evie was even Evie was after you. I think.
Oh,
Like,
really?
It's just a lot of. I don't know what happened. I can't even remember the first few we had lined up.
Yeah, I can't remember because you basically were putting it was a joint gig with Hot Fox, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you were putting the lineup together, and it was always going to be like female fronted.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. Okay.
Love it.
It was Rue, I think.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So we had a few people that we shortlisted for it, but I think because you said you had your headline gig a couple of weeks
Yeah.
before that or whatever.
Yes.
Well, I think they were in. I can't remember if they're October or November. I think it must have been October because it was right after Morley Grey came out.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, it's just a bit of a playing with the lineup.
Mm.
But that venue, still, we mentioned it a little bit earlier on, but the venue was beautiful.
It was. Yeah.
It was a gorgeous venue.
Have you played there before?
No, I'd never been there before.
Oh, really?
No, I'd never been there. I loved it though. Like the mirrors in the background and everything. They were really, really cool.
Gothic vibes.
Yeah.
We actually had Evie in here last week.
Oh, really?
And we had Lex in a few weeks ago.
Love it.
And Lex weren't part of that night, but you mentioned her earlier.
I've played with her before as well though. Getting all the girlies in.
Yeah, love that for us. Yeah. So speaking of which, a lot of your music, particularly Morally Grey and Grovel,
Mhm.
which is your most recent track,
Yes.
is very much giving strong female energy.
Yeah.
You said the men hated Grovel.
Oh yeah.
Well,
the
'cause it
men
gives
hated.
too strong a female
I think
energy.
the like. Trying to think of a way to say this. Like the,
Without isolating 50% of your
I'd say the boys. No, my audience is female. Like literally, like I'd say like 80%. Like yeah. But yeah, the let's call them the boys. Didn't like some of the content for Grovel. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, mostly on Instagram. I don't know.
Oh,
On
really?
TikTok, they just didn't care. They all loved it. But like yeah, on Instagram, they got a little
So you had,
hurt.
like negative comments.
Oh yeah! Oh
Really?
my god! On the video I did with Ali, which was such a satire skit,
Yeah.
which nobody actually really realized that was so satire. The song has nothing to do with him, so
Have you seen that?
I think I might need to go and watch it.
Maybe.
You need to.
Done it
It's
break.
A+ acting, by the way. His A+ acting on it.
That's what it is. Your acting's too good, Ali.
Yeah, it's too believable. Which is so funny because I literally said to other people in the comments that know me and Ali, like, this is obviously a joke.
Yeah.
But the thing is people don't read that before they comment. So
No, of course.
yeah, but it was funny. Those comments made me laugh though. Whether they're negative or positive, I mean, you're still making my algorithm boost.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Like, it's like no such thing as bad press in that.
Interaction's interaction.
Yeah.
And again, we'll confirm, Ali, you're doing all right.
He put a thumbs up.
Good.
Yeah, blink twice.
Blink twice if you're being held against your will.
He couldn't get out a minute ago. He did panic. Have you got with your music with Morally Grey? Obviously, absolutely erupted. So what, I know obviously earlier on you said about it took off on TikTok, Instagram, and Shorts as well. How was it a case that was from your pardon?
How did you do
how?
it?
Yeah.
Well, I was going to ask because obviously you said the music wasn't released yet, and from what I understand with like sync and whatnot, the track has to be released before it can be used.
You can
on
put your own audio on there.
I suppose so. Yeah. Was it that the reason why it took
Yeah,
off?
so I started teasing it, I think, I can't remember if it was 3 weeks or 2 weeks before the song was coming out. And I was with my old distributor at the time, and the track wasn't going on to like the back end of Spotify, so I didn't have a pre-save link yet.
Right.
And so the song like started to go viral, and I was like, I need a pre-save link like today. So I did get one like the next day or something, but I think it was like a full 2 weeks before the song came out. So yeah, it was crazy.
So the content that you were creating with your
Yeah.
song on it, and that was going viral,
Yeah.
and then you need your that's such a cool, like, it's really cool how that's grown organically from there.
Yeah, it was absolutely an amazing and crazy time. And then obviously with the second version as well, the same thing happened, and it was very overwhelming. I remember being very overwhelmed at the end of last year, but in a very good way as well.
Well, and a lot of it owed to Book Talk.
Yeah.
Could you explain what that is to us novices?
Book Talk is basically like a section of TikTok, I guess. Everybody, like, everything I feel like has its own little section on TikTok. Like, you've got the music people. I'm pretty sure you have like craft people. Like, I'm sure there's like little sections for everything, but basically I think it's for everything. I think it's all readers, but like this is mostly like romance Book Talk, which I love reading, like romance novels, so it was very organic for me to post that kind of content. And the song was written like about my love for those kind of books anyway, so Book Talk picked it up and did their thing, and yeah, I owe like most of like the success of More of the Grey to Book Talk. So yeah.
Well, and the readers of said books that similarly like those kind of questionable characters, morally questionable characters that
Why'd you look at me then?
Morally questionable.
I'm sitting here quietly, mate. I'm behaving.
Morally questionable.
Don't squint at me like that. With with Book Talk, it's not like it's literally just a case of like there's a group of people on TikTok, right? Am I being thick?
Yeah, it's just a group of people on TikTok
Okay.
and they post about their
She,
love.
she
of
said
books.
yes, didn't she?
I didn't mean you were being thick. I mean, yes, that is what it
Oh,
was.
okay, fine, all right. 'Cause I haven't
Character
heard.
assassination. Over
Yeah, I know. It's going well, isn't it? I might leave. Yeah, I haven't heard of it before. So it's like basically just like a subsection of people on TikTok, and that's what
Yeah.
you're calling. But okay, fine.
It's basically just like a little group of people that like-minded people that like reading. Really,
Yeah.
like I think there's like a section for every kind of reader, but yeah, I like my romance girlies.
Nice.
I don't read enough.
No,
Not that I'd read romance stuff, really. I read a few. Do you know what I did read recently when I was away last was like travel ones, like cycling the world and stuff. And I was like, I want to go do that. And then Charlotte was like, no, you're
We're
not.
just looking at each other like, okay.
Sounds good.
No, you're not doing that. Oh, okay.
Well, there's a subsection of that on TikTok as well.
I
There
bet you
is.
anything there is. Yeah.
Do you know what subsection I got into earlier was
Okay.
soldiers returning from war.
Oh, stop! I cannot watch those videos.
Makes me cry.
Yeah.
And the worst is when there's like a young family and a dog as well. At
It's
the, end.
the dog.
Like, no,
It's
Yeah.
the dog for me. It's when the dog sees the person
Yeah.
coming home, and it's just no.
100%.
I've never seen those on TikTok. This is the thing. People don't see certain things on TikTok, so it's like I don't know that exists.
Well, that's
You
what I
have an
mean about
echo
Book
chamber.
Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which
no,
is crazy. I can't believe people don't know what Book Talk is, but
No idea.
I guess it's
Makes
one of those
sense.
things you wouldn't know.
it's
It's because it's one of the biggest groups on TikTok is Book Talk. I think it is maybe the biggest. I think that's what the creator of TikTok said. It was that this was
really?
the biggest like subsection of TikTok. So
Well,
yeah,
it's a section that I don't know because I just seem to
No.
get sad videos.
you need to
it's like-
change the algorithm.
It's like, yeah.
You need to click not interested because that's some sad
If you swipe
algorithm.
past quickly, it'll get the message.
I know, but they're so cute, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? It's
love
nice, isn't it? So let's talk about this year then. So obviously Grovel is out now. What is the plan for releasing the next music or EP, or what's your plan for this year?
Plan for this year, I mean, I'm working on a lot of new music right now. Working with collaborators for the first time ever, which I started doing at the very end of last year. I think probably really quickly after the gig, actually. I basically, it was, but I think I did my first co-write like since like I was a teenager or something. Like I didn't co-write with other people. Everything was written by me, produced by Ali, and I never really worked with many other people. But I'm wanting to like collaborate with some other people and get some more music. I do have more music coming out. Which I can announce pretty soon. So, yeah, I'm excited.
Sorry, I was just going to ask, how have you found like collaborating with people? Because earlier on you said about giving control over to a manager. How have you found that in a collaborative sense with writing?
I've only done like a handful of sessions so far. Some of them have been good and some of them haven't been. I feel like co-writing is very much like speed dating. You know, you're basically going into a room with people you've never met before. You're like, oh, how are you? Where are you from? Like what makes you
ASL.
tick? Like
ASL.
ASL. It's very much like, you know, you spend one day with these people unless you go back and like write other things with people.
Yeah.
It's just about finding the people that bring out the best in you and bring out the story in you. And you know, I'm pretty easy at becoming vulnerable with people. Like I've never really had that problem. I'm pretty much an open book. Excuse the pun.
I didn't say it.
I just thought about that. But yeah, so it's been a bit of a mixed bag so far, but I'm pushing forward and continuing it.
A mixed bag is in like styles and genres as well.
Yeah, just a mixed bag of what song I get at the end. Some of them have been good and some of them have been not good, and then some of them have been good but not for me.
Do you know how to fix it? Some bass.
Yeah. A bass fill. That's all it needs is a bass fill. Yeah.
How does that work with the people that you've been writing with then? Are they people that you found or your managers found or people that have come to you?
Both. All of the above. Yeah. All of the above. I wrote with a great like songwriting duo, Ink Songs. They're Emmy and Marie, and they were amazing. They were the people that I wrote in December with. And we're writing again, like I think, what month are we right now? Are we May or April?
April.
April. In
Funnily enough, you should know that.
I know. Worst month to be called April. Yeah, so we're writing together again next month because I had such a great session with them. Such a great song came out of it. So
how do you have that awkward conversation with someone when it hasn't gone quite well? I imagine it's like a bit like a breakup. Or do you?
I think it's very different. It's like, you know, it's not like the songs will never come out or something. Sometimes it's just they'll get shelved for the moment, and I feel like some of them can be like pushed onto other artists or like pitched for other things. I don't think any song is ever a bad song, you know. Like sometimes it just,
I've heard a few.
Yeah, true.
We get a lot of submissions.
Yeah, I can imagine. But yeah, sometimes it's just like it ended up just like not being for me. And also sometimes you're just not in the mood that day. Like, you know, it's just, it's very different every time.
Seems to be like a very common practice now, especially with people as they get bigger and get bigger followings.
We're chatting to Lex about it, weren't we?
Yeah, exactly. Lex does exactly the same thing. Just the co-writing process. And it's not like you're going in to necessarily get a full song out of it and this is going to be your next single. It's just about learning, developing.
Yeah, exactly. Also, you don't always have to get a song out of it. But yeah, I feel like for me it was more getting over the anxiety of working with other people.
Yeah.
I feel like I put a mental block on it for such a long time working with other people, and just like not feeling good enough and things like that. I'm not a very quick songwriter, and also songwriting this is probably such a stupid thing to say, but I've heard Billie Eilish say it, so it's fine. If she can say it, I can say it, but songwriting is not my favorite thing in the world. I find it really difficult, as in I find it difficult to get out of my own head and be like, this is good, or actually this isn't good. But then also like being okay with saying like bad suggestions and stuff like that. So I feel like when I'm by myself, it's so much easier. But yeah, things that co-writers have done is like, it's one of those things that if I don't get a song straight away within the first like hour, I give up if I'm on my own. But when I'm with collaborators, we're like, no, let's keep going with this. This idea is good. We just haven't gotten it yet. So yeah, they're definitely pushing me in a really good way. So
seems like the thing to be doing. I think anything like that, just throw yourself into collaboration. It's like we said earlier, it's networking and actually just experiencing those
But
things.
it's difficult to let your guard down, isn't it? Like if it's something you've been doing on your own for so long, and then obviously having Ali produce it, it's difficult to get out of that groove. Because I'm not being funny, like even like we're going to talking to you a little bit about performing.
Oh yeah, no, I do not do that. I'm terrible.
No, you're not terrible.
No, like I have the worst anxiety.
Oh right, okay, I was going to say, blimey, because like Abi performed at the first gig that you've done in ages, a couple of weeks ago, and like how did you find that, considering you've played in here quite a bit on your own, but how did you find going from playing in here in private to being on stage?
Well, it's like anything, it's never exactly the same. You just got to hope you've rehearsed well enough that you can rely on that, on those motor skills and all that practice just
muscle
to take
memory.
over that muscle memory. Yeah, exactly. The adrenaline kind of helps, but it hinders as well. Like I almost zone out, to be honest. But I feel like when I came off, I was like, that didn't go as well as I wanted it to.
But I was just saying, the reason
I bet you it did. I bet you it's literally just like something that you think.
I thought you'd done really well, considering it was the first gig you've done in ages, and you held the crowd as well. Like even when you were very funny on stage, I thought, because it was
Love
a case
that.
that even when you had a moment where I can't remember exactly what happened, but you'd forgotten a bit or you
It was
missed.
right at the end, and the actual like chord pattern was din din din, like would have been kind of sarky anyway.
Right.
But then I messed it up. I was like, what a great way to the end of my set.
But it was good though, because there was a couple of moments like that, and I was like, but everyone was engaging with you.
Oh, well, that's good.
So I thought,
People make mistakes on stage all the time, aka me. Always. I'm always forgetting words.
That doesn't come across.
Hey, I'm always forgetting words, especially now we play to tracks. So like, if you make a mistake, you make a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I can't go back, or like the band can't be like, oh, let's just go round again. You're playing to tracks. Like that's been a learning curve. That.
But that's what the reason I brought it up is obviously getting out of your comfort zone and trying new things and being in different environments and stuff like that. But so you play to track now. Have you haven't always played to track?
No.
Like how's your setup changed from, because you did quite a lot last year, didn't you? So how has it developed?
So I think we've been playing to track now for over a year.
Right.
But before that, I was making like country pop music, so it's not very like track based. So, whenever I did that, we either played acoustically or with a band. But yeah, now I've just got Ali, who basically like does everything, and then
literally does everything. Like the setup he had.
It's
he was here,
crazy.
then he was here, then he was here. And I was like,
we would
Jesus.
love to get a third person at some point. But yeah,
You actually sent your like tech spec, and your stage layout was just Ali.
yeah, it's Ali in his giant list of things, and then we've got a drummer, Emmerich, who like triggers the tracks and does all the drums and stuff. So yeah, it was a learning curve for me, because I always get in my head that I'm going to forget lyrics. So if you ever see one of my set lists from stage, it always has the very first like word or like sentence of each section of the song.
Right.
So it's like people get my set list to the end of the show and they're like, what is this? It's just because I get in my head that I'm going to forget a song, like forget a lyric.
How does it start again?
Yeah, it's like I don't remember how this starts. So yeah, I always write them down. So it's just one of those things, like I have anxiety, so like if I can like alleviate that by doing that,
yeah, definitely,
then like I will do that.
Yeah, I mean, you're part of the very similar crowd in this room, so it's one of those things that anything you can do to alleviate those issues.
Yeah.
But we do that with not songs as such, but like with links on like radio or whatever.
Yeah.
You have your pointers that you're trying to hit all the way through. So yeah, anything you can do to help yourself, it's only going to benefit the gig, right?
Yeah, and massive artists have teleprompters on stage. Like I don't think many people know that.
No, I didn't.
They all have teleprompter, like small little screens, like that look like wedges.
Right.
They all have.
I mean, I get that in like TV and media, but I've never heard that in.
Yeah.
For, like,
literally saw a picture the other day. I think it was Olivia Rodrigo who had like.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, people have lots of songs, like
It's a good idea, to be fair.
Also,
like
who listens to their own music? Like really. not. I will say like probably not many artists listen to their own music after it's been released.
Yeah, I guess because you're already
done with
working.
it by that point.
Yeah.
You've heard it enough.
Yeah, it's not mine anymore. Yeah, it's everyone else's at that point.
You're moving on to the next stuff that you're writing and trying to get the next track out.
Yeah.
But I think with what a Cardinal said that they're their own favourite band, didn't they, when they were in?
Yeah, they said you have to be your own favourite band.
They did say that. They did say that. Everyone's different. Though.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love the confidence of that.
Well, with them, like they came onto the podcast. We recorded it last year, so it's before they'd actually done their very first gig as a
Every gig,
collective.
yeah.
Oh, wow.
So they come in December. We recorded it then. Then the first episode went out beginning of March, maybe. Beginning of Feb. So they basically had performed by then. So it was a bit like the timeline
It was a
didn't
bit
quite.
janky.
Yeah, it was janky. Yeah. Right, let's
I
talk
really
about.
hope that means what I hope.
So do I,
So do
because
I.
otherwise we're getting cancelled.
I don't know. It's just what we all say in Scotland, so I hope it's okay.
I'm sure it's fine.
Don't say around these parts. Do we?
I've never heard it.
No,
No.
I don't think I have.
No. Let's talk about gigs then, shall we? Because you've said that you have been around the country a little bit doing gigs, although your geography's not great, but that's fine.
Stay in London.
Yeah. But
London
where-
and Edinburgh.
What gigs have you got gigs lined up for?
Got one next month, haven't you?
Yeah, I do. I'm doing BBC Introducing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, which was a very, very exciting thing to get. I couldn't believe it when I did get it, but yeah, it was
Well, when your manager opened the email.
exactly. Yeah, she sent me a screenshot. So yeah, that was incredible. So I'm playing that on the 2nd of May.
Where's that?
The Lower Third in London.
Oh,
which
yeah.
I saw an artist called Upsall there last year, and I said to Ali, I was like, I'm playing this venue this year, like, and there we go.
You manifested.
Yeah, I'm a manifesting queen. Honestly, the other day I sent a text to my manager being like, hey, I really want to like write with this guy, and it was one of the collaborators that I like found on Instagram. Honestly, I kid you not, half an hour later, he DMs me out of the blue. I'm just
Mad,
like,
isn't it?
what? So yeah,
It's funny how
There
it
we go.
works. Like it does work like that sometimes. It really
sometimes
does.
it does.
So if you've got BBC Introducing the 2nd of May, have you got anything else planned? That You
Nothing. I don't think I've got anything. Oh no, I do. I have
Something in October.
can... Yeah.
October. I have a like a Fable, which is basically like a fantasy like bookish type like event where people like dress up with their favorite book characters and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm really excited for that. Yeah, I can't
That
wait.
makes sense.
Yeah,
Queen of Book Talk
and it's
has
like a crazy venue. It's like it feels very like high fantasy, like ball type. It's like
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
it looks really sick. So I'm super excited.
Have you got any other cities that you want to get on your tick list? Because you say you've gigged around a little bit around the UK, but is there anywhere else you want to try and get to this
I
year?
want to tour the US so badly.
Well, you have a manager in the US, so surely
Yeah,
that's...
I know. A lot of my audience is in the US, so
Right.
I have a predominantly US audience, and I get comments and DMs all the time trying to get to the US.
I mean, you've got an excuse to go. You have
Yeah.
a manager out in the US.
I know. I am going to LA in June though, so I'm very excited for that. I just booked that yesterday. So
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
cool. Is that business or pleasure?
a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit of both.
Where else would you like to gig in the US then, if that's where your fan base is?
So many places. I just want to do like I really want to get on a support slot for
Yeah.
like an artist. Hint Upsall. Whenever she's never gonna watch this, but like yeah,
She might,
I'm manifesting that.
The algorithm will find her.
Yeah, I'm manifesting that. I want to go on tour with Upsall really badly.
I've found, like, speaking to people who are looking for support in venues, particularly like in New York and Manhattan,
Mhm.
around that area, that their idea of small to mid-sized venues are massive
Yeah,
compared to what we have here.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
we have a lot of very small venues
Very
and then very big venues. I feel
Mm.
like we've got not really many like mid-sized venues. Like I know we've got like in London Shepherd's Bush like O2, but like
A couple, yeah.
after that it just goes really big. After that I think it's like Hammersmith
Arena.
Apollo and stuff like, which is huge. But
Yeah.
Someone I was speaking to in New York.
Yeah.
He's like, I want to get on this. Like, I'm selling gigs, like small gigs, like 200, 250. I was like, okay, not really. I mean, we've sold a lot smaller.
Yeah.
And he's like, so I want to go like next level. So I'm thinking like 1,000. I'm like, that's a bit of a jump.
Yeah.
that is a jump. Yeah. sometimes I think you just have to do that though. You have to be ballsy and believe in yourself that you're going to sell that out and, do it.
You said that something earlier on, which was along the lines of you can hold yourself back by not taking those opportunities. And I think that's a good lesson for people listening and watching this.
Yeah, you
Get yourself out of your
100% of
comfort
the
zone.
chances that you do not take.
Take your shot, Kieran.
Take your shot, Kieran.
I don't know if they picked that up from that earlier. I can't remember. But you got to take your shots. I think that's pretty much that, isn't it? I think that is a good end to a podcast. Was there anything else that you've got coming up that you want to plug? And can you tell people where they can find you if they don't follow you already?
Everything online is April J or April J Music. That's JAI, not JAY. I feel like my mum just like really like messed up with that one because people say Jai all the time, which is very normal. But yeah, so that's where you can find me, and I do have new music coming out in the next few months, weeks. Yeah.
Keep your eyes peeled, people.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Abs, anything else?
No, that's it from me.
Yeah?
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you so much for
having
coming
me.
down.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. We're going to have a couple of tracks now. So if you guys want to watch those, you need to go and subscribe to Patreon because they'll be on there exclusively for at least the next few weeks before we decide what to do with them. So go and sign up to Patreon, the Future Hits, patreon.com/Future Hits Radio. Go and like us on Instagram and all that sort of good
Like
stuff.
and subscribe if you're watching on YouTube.
Oh yeah, definitely subscribe, please.
Subscribe, please.
That would be very handy. But again, thank you, April, for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And we look forward to seeing where this year takes you and all your manifestation.
Yes. Get it done.
Cool. Thanks everyone for watching. See you next time.
Bye.
Thank you.